Welcome back to 504 Road Trips. Today we continue our drive through Massachusetts on Interstate 95 heading south. We begin at mile 71 in Essex County. We enter the town of Danvers. Originally called Salem Village, Danvers is best known for its connection to the infamous Salem witch trials of 1692. It was also the location of the historic Danvers State Hospital, a 19th century psychiatric institution. Today, Danvers serves as a hub for local commerce, with numerous car dealerships and the Liberty Tree Mall. According to the 2020 United States Census, the town has a population of 28,087. We enter the city of Peabody, with a population of 54,481 at the time of the 2020 census. We see a sign for exit 66, leading to US Highway 1, which has a control city of Boston. I-95 now has a control city of Waltham, presumably because I-95 doesn't actually go through Boston. The 1955 plan was for I-95 to go right through the city, but residents protested, and I-95 was rerouted along State Route 128, which we'll see ahead. At the time, that was considered the outer belt, but that was long before I-495 was completed. Here we begin a concurrency with Massachusetts Route 128, otherwise known as the Yankee Division Highway, and let's take a look at a map. This shows Route 128 in its entirety, or at least until it runs off the bottom of the map. More on that later. Upon the completion of this limited access freeway, the decision was made for I-95 to bypass Boston and follow most of Route 128 around the city. While we're looking at a map of the Boston area, let's see what other highways are around here. US 1 remains in close proximity to I-95 until I-95 joins Route 128. Then US 1 heads south into Boston. Meanwhile, US 3 comes in from the northwest and terminates in Cambridge, just across the Charles River from Boston. US 20 comes in from the west and ends within the Boston city limits, just a stone's throw away from the southern terminus of US 3, but making no connection. I-93 comes down from the northwest and passes through Boston, although much of it is buried in a tunnel. I-495 is in the upper left corner, forming Boston's outer beltway, so far away that most of it isn't even on the map. Then I-90 comes in from the west after its cross-country journey, also passing through Boston, and like I-93, much of it runs through tunnels. So back to our trip in the history of Route 128. Back in 1927, Route 128 was designated as a circumferential highway and ran along existing surface streets from Gloucester north of Boston to Hull south of the city. A 4-lane expressway was then built between 1951 and 1960. By 1958, growing traffic congestion made it clear that the highway needed to be expanded from 4 to 6 lanes to accommodate increasing business activity, much of it driven by technology emerging from Harvard University and MIT. The widening project, completed in 1964, included the replacement of all old overpasses with new ones. In 1967, a policy was enacted limiting each road to a single route number. As a result, Route 128 was removed from the Southeast Expressway, and the segment from exit 35 to Hull was redesignated as Route 228. The directional designations of Route 228 were reversed to match its actual geographic alignment, shifting the southern terminus of Route 128 to the Braintree Split. When part of the highway was designated as I-95 in 1973, it became necessary to upgrade the roadway to meet interstate highway standards. Traffic levels on this section grew significantly during the 1980s, further emphasizing the need for improvements. In 1988, this stretch of highway was finally upgraded to interstate standards, including new interchanges with I-95. In the 1970s, the western section of Route 128 became a hub for high-technology firms and corporations, earning it the nickname America's Technology Highway. In October 1982, signs with this nickname were installed. However, 2 years later, the signs were changed to say America's Technology Region after Veterans Group raised concerns. They pointed out that the highway already had an official name, the Yankee Division Highway, given in 1941 to honor a U.S. Army unit formed in Boston in 1917. We enter the town of Reading, which had a population of 25,518 as of the 2020 census. The town features several notable landmarks, including the Park or Tavern, the town's oldest surviving structure from the 17th century, built in 1694. Another unique site is the roof of St. Athanasius Church, one of the largest hyperbolic paraboloid structures in the Western Hemisphere, resembling a giant Pringles chip with pointed corners. Additionally, the Burbank Arena skating rink sits on the site of decommissioned Army National Guard Nike Ajax missile silos, adding historical significance to the location. We enter the city of Woburn, with a population of 40,876 as of the 2020 census. Woburn was the site of a significant water contamination crisis that gained widespread attention. In the mid to late 1970s, residents, particularly in the Pine Street area of East Woburn, grew alarmed by a high number of childhood leukemia cases and other illnesses. In 1979, high levels of chemical contamination were discovered in the city's wells G and H. This led many in the community to suspect a connection between the contaminated groundwater and the rise in leukemia, cancer, and other health issues, likely caused by exposure to volatile organic compounds in the water supply. In 1982, families of leukemia victims sued W.R. Grace and Beatrice Foods for contaminating Woburn's groundwater with industrial solvents, But despite later EPA findings holding both companies responsible, Beatrice was acquitted and Grace paid a limited settlement of $8 million, with much of it consumed by legal fees. We passed through the town of Burlington, which started as a primarily agricultural community, selling hops, rye, cured hams, milk, fruits, and vegetables to Boston while supplementing its economy with small shoemaking shops. Early development was limited as railroad expansion bypassed the town, though it remained connected to the region via the Middlesex Turnpike. This quiet, rural character persisted until the construction of Route 128, which brought a dramatic shift. Between 1955 and 1965, Burlington experienced explosive growth, becoming the fastest growing town in Massachusetts at the time. Its population tripled within 5 years, and the town saw a surge in residential and commercial development, shaping it into the suburban and professional hub it is today. As of 2022, Burlington has an estimated population of 25,966. Here we pick up a short concurrency with US Highway 3 northbound. As quickly as the overlap with US 3 began, it ends, and as soon as we get to the other end of this interchange, we're going to conclude this video at mile marker 50. Thanks for watching. We'd like to give special thanks to Front Seat member Jimmy B for his generous Super Thanks donation. You can also help support our channel by becoming a channel member for as little as $1 a month and get early access to our regular videos. Or it doesn't cost you anything at all to give us a thumbs up, share on social media, subscribe, leave a comment below, and join us for our next 504 road trip.